1941. That was a turbulent year in history, to say the least. So I won't be stepping inside because there's about a foot of water, but shine some light on it. Well, hey everybody, welcome to a Not Thursday in New Hampshire. It's mid-March, as you can see by the ground conditions. You know, not bad, but pretty typical. Ice, snow, frozen ground, mud, all those conditions. But I'm outside, I'm in the woods, that's all that matters. So here's the thought for today. Last summer, I hiked a chunk of this big public piece of property, and on the tail end, about 40-minute walk out, I found the remains of something that the CCC had left here. So what I want to do is, last year I went to the easterly side of this piece of property. Today I'm going to loop around the westerly side. Now, the thing about this property, as all old New England property, there are rock walls scattered all about, and a lot of them are older walls because they're in a grid pattern, east to west, north to south, and so on. So as we make our way about, we are going to, you know, look for the signs of things that happened here. The main objective is to get out to where the CCC were, but anything we can see along the way will be great. Because when I was out here last year, it was July, and it, you know, essentially was like jungle. But now I can actually see a ways into the woods. Not so much right here, it's pretty thick, but better than I could last year. So let's move forward. Wall, wind. So as you can see up in there, there's a stone wall. And the interesting thing about this big chunk of land is that when you get out in the middle here, picture this. To the south is a main road still in use, to the north main road still in use, and off those roads you have the settlements from, say, the early 1800s jetting in. When you get into the middle here, these are all these remnants of the early settler stuff. It's completely different. Like I said, it's grid pattern, where out on the settled sites, out on the main roads of the 1800s, they kind of followed the landscape when building walls and such. So there could be anything out here. As in, you know, history that goes back to the colonial days. This is actually a corner. The trail breaks right on through. The further I get out, the less traffic there has been, and I'm really hoping that this trail does in fact loop around to where I want to go. Well, that's peculiar looking from a distance. Oh. Plinking targets. Interesting. Not a very straight shot, wide open spot. Well, there's the first interesting thing of the trip. And here we go. Interesting thing number 2. That is a fire hole. More than likely put in by the CCC. Fed by the brook. Pretty cool. So that makes me think that this, you know, trail was probably cut by the CCC, but it was probably a cart path long before that. But you'll see these things sprinkled all over the forests, at least in our area. And obviously that is in the case that there was, you know, fire way out here, they would have a place to draw water from. That's cool. Old wash basin. And a fork in the road. We want to start cutting back that way. I guess someday we'll get out here and see where that goes, but for now, on with the objective. Almost there. And yeah, not too much else out in that chunk I just walked through, wall-wise or land improvement. But as we get to this side, like I said, you can see up there, those are definitely old farms and still occupied. We're just tickling the north end of this parcel. So, oh, that's deep. It's interesting as to why this is on this side. Well, makes sense, I guess. I think they had some kind of makeshift mill set up here. And I say that because I know they worked the land out here, and my guess is this was power of some sorts, but very, very interesting. So, 1188 Co. CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps. That would have been our local camp. 1941. That was a turbulent year in history, to say the least. So, I won't be stepping inside because there's about a foot of water, but you can see electrical fixtures and stuff on the back wall. I'm gonna shine some light on it. You know, maybe they had a generator of some sort, you know, an engine in here to give them power. It's not very large, maybe 16 feet in total with about 8 feet inside. Unfortunately, caving in. So there you go, some history from, well, 80 years ago. Pretty awesome. And why I think a mill type setup, well, they were doing all kinds of, you know, land improvement, land clearing, pulling resources, replenishing resources, but this build is not hundreds of years old, this stone wall, and it's actually a pull-in area. The road that we walked in on, the dirt, you know, path road, heads right out that way to a street, so they would have been pulling right back in here, and this is probably where they set up their base camp, and that would have been for day work because the barracks and actual 1188 camp less than 10 miles from here. So, alright, here's what we're going to do now. One of the rules of ranging that we always follow: never go out the way you came in. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the difference on the way back. Hopefully it's not too treacherous or awful out there, but there is a bulb. There's a good sized hill, well, heading back. And, you know, in the Colonial state of mind, that's usually where we want to go. So let's do it. And the other thing is, there's a wall kind of going around the base of it. Oof. All snow. In fact, it's actually snowing a little bit. Oh, we have wall all the way up here. Wow, that wind is something else. So, judging by the wall, they were feeding it from the side we just walked up. They built it firm on this side and filling it in from that side. Pretty interesting, actually, all the way up here. It's not like it's flat, as you can see, it just drops off in every direction, but they used every bit of land that they owned. I guess it may be hard to see and such on video, but that wind coming out of the northwest with the snow flurries is quite intense. So I'm gonna head down off the other side of this lift and hopefully meet up with the loop trail. Down we go. Quickly. Oh. Well, the brook is flowing healthily. Interestingly enough, I think we're still in a drought condition-wise from, last year. Anyways, I'm glad you guys joined me. I'm glad I got to see what was up there, because I'm now back to where I know I am at. And I passed through here last summer, but never went up there. And we got to see some CCC history, walk through Colonial lands, and make a video. So I'll see you all very soon. Until next time, get out and explore your world, and enjoy your Not Thursday.